morning, everyone. Welcome to another issue of Samvad. I have a very interesting young lady with me today, Anahita Garg from Tower 4, who I've seen growing up from a school student to somebody who's doing an extremely interesting course now in her graduation and post-graduation, and is an upcoming, not really scholar, but somebody who is, I think going to change the face of the industry, and a very interesting industry. Not many of us are thinking about that industry. Hamari generation mein to koi nahi sochta tha. So we'll welcome Anahita Garg. Hi Anahita, welcome to Samvad. Good to have you with us finally.
Hello, Auntie. Thank you so much for inviting me. The pleasure is mine.
Oh, how nice of you. So Anahita, tell me about your childhood. Where were you? Where are you from?
So I'm born and brought up in Delhi, but I've actually spent a considerate amount of my childhood in Mumbai. Right. So growing up, I actually oscillated between both cities equally. So in the 21 years of my life, I spent the last decade in Delhi. And out of that, the last 7 years or so in ATS in Noida.
Yeah. Okay. And so what about your schooling? Where did you go to school?
So ever since 5th grade, I've been going to step-by-step school Noida. So that was the major chunk of my education. And yes, ever since I've been in Delhi. Before that, again, because I was continuously shifting, so my schools were also changing. So I've also studied the ICSE board for some time. Okay. But mostly, yes, it has been CBSE at step-by-step.
And step-by-step. All right. So what were your, eventually, what were your subjects in your senior classes?
So till 10th grade, we studied everything, and I was the kind of student who was good at everything, consistently good. I wasn't like particularly good at one subject. So it was kind of hard for me to choose which stream to take in 11th grade, but I always had more of a scientific and logical bend. So science seemed like the natural choice. But even then, it was difficult to choose between PCM and PCB, which are the two major streams. So the thing with me was that I had a great interest in biology, but I didn't want to do medicine. And I didn't want to drop biology in 10th grade. But I also wanted to continue studying math, because math is very important. And I'm saying now that I'm close to graduating, I could not have done without math. So then I decided to take PCMB in 11th grade.
Wow.
Which was a very difficult combination. I struggled a lot with it as well. It was quite challenging, but quite worth it in the end as well.
Wow. So you must have had a very crazy timetable and schedule in school because of
yes.
choosing subjects which are not really the norm, let's say. Hai na?
Yes, exactly. So I did get a lot of questions, and people weren't really sure about what I wanted to do. And I also wasn't very sure about what I wanted to do. And it was quite hectic, but I did it, and now we're here.
Now we are here. Yes, of course. And you did a very good job of it, I know, because I was hearing your name in Step by Step. Yuvan and Divana were younger than you, but still we knew, we knew that you were the one the teachers were talking about and the staff would mention. Definitely. We knew all that. So, okay. So quickly, not for me, but for everybody else, tell us about your parents and family and siblings.
So I have a basic family, mom, dad. I have a younger sibling, Ahana, who's in 10th grade now. She just gave her boards. And my grandmother, my dad's side, my dadi, also lives with us. And we're just a simple family. Just the 5 of us here have been for a very long time. All North Indians from UP. So
like that,
it's a funny mix.
Yeah. Okay. So is this a foodie family then?
Yes, it is a foodie family.
Yes.
Both my mom, dad are good foodies. My mom is a really good cook.
Yeah.
So I've definitely had those influences growing up.
Yeah. And who's the baker? Who's the baker? One of you bakes very well, I know.
I'm the baker.
You're the baker. So I've tasted your cakes without knowing which one of you it was.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, you bake very well.
Thank you.
I can say with experience. Okay. All right. तो अब बताइए, why did we choose food and nutrition science? Why did you go here? What brought you to reaching, this decision that मैं अब ये पढ़ाई करने वाली हूँ?
So growing up, I always liked food. I've always had a different relationship with food. And like when I was small, whenever we went to the grocery store, I used to like pick up a packet and immediately read what was behind it. I used to look at the nutrition label. I used to see where it's come from. It was just a natural kind of curiosity that was there. And like, I mean, I liked food and I do enjoy cooking a lot, but I wasn't that interested in the culinary aspect of it. I was always more interested about where this food came from and how it's mass distributed. Because the food that we eat outside is a very small part of the food that we eat as a whole.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
yeah, so, and I was always interested in plant biology, biochemistry, and not really in human anatomy and other stuff as much. So then in 10th grade, when everyone was asking us to select careers and think about what you wanted to do, I came across food technology and food science as a career. And when I read about it and when I read things, what was being done by food technologists and food scientists, I sort of immediately knew that this is what I wanted to do. And so I found colleges that offered these courses. And I saw that the University of Hong Kong, where I study, had a major. So I study a Bachelor of Science, but my major is food and nutritional science. So I opted for that and got in. So it's a very interesting field to study.
Oh yes, of course. It sounds really something you can, totally get your hands and your eyes and your head totally into, and totally get into the detail. It sounds very interesting. So tell us about this paper that brought you up, so much, and we all were wondering that, that little girl who went to school is suddenly doing such big things. Tell us about the paper.
So this paper is basically sort of like a side pet project that I picked. Okay. In college, all of us have to do a final year thesis. But for me, because it's an applicative course, it wasn't compulsory. So not everyone does it. But I did want to have some thesis writing experience. And unfortunately, because we couldn't really go and study in Hong Kong because of the pandemic, it had to be done virtually. So I was talking to my professor and she suggested that I can focus on writing a review paper and I can do literature analysis and, find a topic that interests me. And my professor's focus was also in nutrition because that's more of where the research in Hong Kong also lies. So the paper is actually a mix of nutritional science and biomedical science. And talking about the paper itself, it's basically a review of everything that has been done till now in the research on vitamin E and its effect on the vascular system in humans.
Wow.
So I read, in simple language, I read basically around 150 papers written all the way from the 1980s to 2020.
Anahita, कितना time लगा?
बहुत time लगता है. I mean, I definitely, I will say that I did become a recluse. I was a proper nerd.
A lot of focus.
Yes. 3 months of just being on the laptop. It gave me poor eyesight and a backache. But it's the price you pay for science, I think. Yeah. And when you read and you get into it, I found out that there was a big research gap actually in the research that had been done on vitamin E. And I saw that a lot of the old studies, I mean, we all also know that vitamin E is a great supplement. We should have it. Yeah. And it actually does a lot in the human body. And one of its major effects is that it protects our vascular system. Right. So it protects our heart and our arteries and our veins from cardiovascular diseases, like atherosclerosis or hypertension or even cardiac arrest. But these research studies, which were old, which were done till the 2000s, said that it works only as an antioxidant, which is another word that you might have heard, that it basically prevents oxidative stress in our body. But in my paper, I talk about how it also has a lot of molecular mechanisms which don't rely on its antioxidant activity. And then I basically go on to review every paper that is there on the internet that talks about its molecular mechanisms, to highlight that there needs to be more research done in humans on its molecular effect. So that is the technical aspect of my paper.
Wow.
But so that happened, and then
Sounds
I
like
basically
something we would all want to know, है ना? It just sounds like
yeah.
something, because with vitamin E तो इतने सालों से ले रहे हैं, हाँ जी antioxidant है, हाँ जी थोड़ा muscles में help करेगी, हाँ जी इसमें help करेगी. You know, we know the bits, but the way you've gotten down to it, into the very depth of it, you know, very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I think I admit I haven't looked at it very carefully, but now I'm really going to. So
Yeah,
I
so if you want to read it, you
Sorry,
can
go on.
link the article there.
Yes, I
and
know it's
people
right
can
there.
have a look.
It's right there. Yeah. I know it's right there. And I want to tell the readers and the listeners that since Anahita has so many accolades and prizes and awards, I am unable to cover here, because now it will sound like a monologue. Ke wo bolti ja rahi hai, then I won this, then I won that, then I wrote this, then I did that. So we're just going to put that in the print version. This is more like a get to know you and understand, you know, why you're winning all these awards and doing so well. Touch wood, bless you, bete. So now quickly tell me, what do you plan to do now? What's in the future now? What are you looking at?
So my aim, even before I started bachelor's, was always to work in the food technology industry.
Yeah.
Companies like Nestle and Conagra, General Mills, which hire food technologists in the fields of product development, food quality control, food sensory analysis, food chemistry. So I'll be pursuing a master's.
Okay.
I've yet to get an admission, but I've applied for master's because I'm in my final year of bachelor's.
Yeah.
So it'll be a master's in food science, and hopefully after that, I'll be working in these industries. So yeah,
Anahita,
we'll see.
sorry if I'm being wrong, but you haven't been able to visit your university at all, or were you able to go before the pandemic?
No, I was actually there till the end of 2020. I came back to India in 2021, after which I couldn't go back. I wanted to, because Hong Kong had banned flights from India because of the Delta wave here, and just Hong Kong had very strict sanctions on India. So even now, unfortunately, the situation in Hong Kong isn't the best. They're dealing with the fifth wave of Omicron. So because of that, flights are banned again. So I haven't really had the opportunity.
Unable to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then tell us about the university. This is not some university that, you know, all of us have heard about or we know a lot about. Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, so HKU is actually a great university, a good reflection of Hong Kong as a metropolitan city, and very famous for its medical, biomedical, and scientific research as well. It's the second best university in Asia and the best university in Hong Kong and China. So it's doing a lot of research, and it's one of the main reasons why I chose it for my bachelor's. And in the time that I was there, almost like 2 years, I would say, I got a lot of opportunities to build the sort of research background that enabled me to write my own thesis. And also the kind of courses that were offered even beyond food and nutritional science were really good. So overall, it was a great experience. And the things that weren't possible were because of the pandemic, which wasn't really in our control. So nothing could be done about that.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about the campus life. How was it living there?
So living in Hong Kong was definitely a challenge. I will not say that it was easy. It was easier for me in the sense that I've always really liked Asian and Southeast Asian culture, and I've always been really curious about it. So it was easy for me to assimilate into their way of living once I went there. And I've always been really open in terms of trying new food or understanding languages, or just kind of adapting to how like you live in the hostel and stuff. So it was difficult, but Hong Kong was great that way because you have a lot of Indians there and also people from other countries. all over Southeast Asia. You have people from Korea, Bangkok, in Thailand, and Indonesia, Malaysia, exchange students from all over the world. So it's very cosmopolitan in that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So it wasn't really a challenge. And the campus, I mean, it's built in the city. So we sort of just live and go about in the city and not really in the campus as much.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really well made and very good infrastructure and good support system.
Okay.
So I was able to adapt really easily there.
Easily. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that sounds very, very interesting. Thank you so much, Anahita. I know we were chasing each other back and forth, and finally we made it today.
Yeah.
And very, very happy to know, Beta, that I've always known that you've been doing this well and doing better and better. I'm definitely going to look at the thesis paper, and we wish you all the best. You're going to do very, very well. We are also sure. And from the entire team at Samvad and all the residents, God bless you, Bache. And shine,
you so much.
do very well. And let us also know all these interesting things. We'll definitely catch you soon again.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Auntie, for giving me this opportunity. And see you.
Bye, Beta.
And
All
thank
the
you so
best.
much.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.